Namaste, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening or their ascension process. And today's video is going to be an ascension energy update for the week of November 20th, 2017. It's a fantastic time to be alive, my friends, and I look forward to getting into the video. We'll start with point one, which is incredible breakthroughs. Finally, beginning to emerge out of the fog. What I mean by that is sometimes when big fundamental shifts take place within our consciousness, brought about by these energies, it can be more of a prolonged catharsis. And there can be a span of sometimes days or even weeks, and at some points of your journey, maybe even months, where certain really heavy emotional patterns are working their way out. And for a span of time, you're in the fog, you're taken over by them, and it's very challenging, if not impossible at times, at least it was for me, to separate myself, to disidentify from those emotions making their way up. But as it always happens, they eventually start to lift. And I think you might be starting to get glimpses of like big fundamental core related emotional issues, something along that nature, starting to finally lift, and you start to feel more free of them, more like you're starting to transcend them finally. And it might kind of come and go, but it's coming, it's starting to come, and you're getting a taste of what it's like to be free of those heavy emotions, and then you can see just how much they have been just messing up your mind and decisions and creating your life, and now you're very close to becoming free and liberated from them finally. It's a fantastic feeling, and it always happens, but sometimes we can kind of lose sight of that and forget that this too shall pass when we're stuck in the muck for so long. Well, I don't think you're going to be stuck in the muck much longer. I think you're going to be lifting out of this, and as you do, as you're free of those core emotions, you're going to realize just how light you actually are, and you will be able to experience that clarity and lightness within your day-to-day practical existence. Number two is breaking the cycles. I mentioned in a recent update of mine that throughout your awakening, you go through periods where you become aware that you have been playing out certain life themes and cycles that have played out a particular way. And sometimes this awareness can be initially startling because you don't want to feel bound and sort of doomed to repeat a certain cycle that might have not been ideal, might have been a negative, reoccurring negative experience in your life. And you might, sometimes you start to kind of catch wind that I'm on this same path again. And again, at first, like, oh no, geez, I know where this leads. But it's the time when you're aware of the cycle that you can break the cycle. And it's not like you get lucky and it's some sort of super accomplishment. It's your awareness will naturally by itself lead to different decisions, different energies, different perspectives, different ways of relating with it. And by default, you're gonna find that you naturally are transcending and sort of lifting out of these wheels, these cycles. Number three, I think we're starting to get to where we're finally starting to accept imperfect situations in our lives. There's always somewhere we want to go. There's always something we want to transcend. And rather than obsessing about a particular outcome as a requirement for us to finally have made it and be happy, I think we've been shooting for things and getting them, big or small, throughout our life in one way or another, enough times to where collectively people are starting to kind of get the hint that it's not about getting somewhere. And I've talked about this before, and this fundamental enlightenment sort of lesson is just starting to sink in deeper and deeper and deeper. And you might be experiencing that in your own life. You might find that you look around at like the week ahead and you think like, wow, like there's an old part of you that's like dreading it, like, oh, I gotta get up, I gotta do this, and it's gonna be stressful. But then there's another party that's like, you know what, stop with this. It is what it is, and you could go into the same week with a better attitude, and you can really almost have fun with it and be very light about it and not so dreadful or attached to this or that. Rather just kind of going with the flow, staying as happy as possible, regardless if you're doing something that is kind of an annoying obligation or you're reaching some sort of achievement that's exciting. It's more like a neutral. We can neutralize all of it and stay relatively content the whole way. Doesn't matter really what we're doing. I found myself doing this because I was living in San Diego not too long ago, and I'm going to Costa Rica in a week from yesterday. So I bought a plane ticket that flies out of LAX, not too far away from me. Now I'm living in Las Vegas, so I tried to switch my plane tickets to like more conveniently fly out of Las Vegas, but it just didn't work out. I couldn't get a refund, and it was kind of a big pain in the butt. So I realized I got to drive all the way to LAX, like 5 hours. And anyway, initially I was like getting very annoyed, like why such resistance? I was wondering, but then I said, you know what? Who cares, man? It's I tried my best to arrange a situation to be easier for me. It didn't work out. And rather than dwell and create the negative experience I was projecting, I caught myself much earlier than normal and said, you know what, let's just step back and be grateful. Remember why you're doing this, and let's not get too bogged down with the little details of life, because life sometimes, there are annoying circumstances that come into our lap, but it's how we choose to relate with them that really impacts how the experience actually transpires. Number 4, you might be experiencing new directions, new paths, new projects, new ideas, starting to kind of finally open up for you beyond the idea of an idea, beyond just a notion of future ideas. More like you can start doing new stuff now. And this might initially, sometimes when we welcome in the new into our life and there's still a little bit of old residue, it can feel like we're jam-packed with stuff, like I'm still having to somewhat take part in the old, and the new stuff is coming and it's exciting and it's available. So it's like a lot to juggle. That's kind of like going back to the past, a recent theme I was just talking about. It can be like, it can pose some time demanding, it might be a time demanding time in your life. But again, that's okay. And embrace the new at your own pace. You can kind of let go of the old as you feel comfortable. Some of us will do it faster than others. In the past, I used to jump into the new and just let go of the old, but that would cause me a lot of psychological stress, as I'm sure you can imagine. So now, even though I feel vibrationally it's like wise to do that, I honor my neurosis with doing such things, so I kind of take my time, and I've been kind of going through these transitions a bit more slowly, but again, taken into the other point I mentioned, trying to be more content within the transition. So anyways, regardless, the point of this was to say, if you have new things coming into your life, new ideas, new opportunities, jump at them, but don't feel you have to do anything too insane or rash. You can kind of go at your own pace. It's not a race, okay? And the more the new comes in as you allow it, the more the old will naturally fall away until such time comes where it's all the new. You are new, you are in the new, and the old is just a memory. Lastly, what tends to at least come and go for me in my awakening is like a growing awareness of just how me living my life and doing my best, making the best choices, trying to always take the high road as much as possible, how that is not only, in a commonsensical way, the means in which I can become happier, but there's a growing sense of how me doing that as best as I can is also the best for the whole. That me living my best life isn't only about me. It's not only about Victor's purpose and Victor looking for happiness. It's about doing my role and just being my best soul self as possible, because that is going to be the best for the whole. And as long as I'm doing that, as long as I feel like I'm contributing to the whole in some way, that the specific outcomes, achievement of specific goals, it's not just about me. So that's kind of what I've been learning as well. I don't know, you guys let me know if you've been learning that as well and kind of going through that sort of theme in your own life. Just realizing, again, your purpose is not only about you, it's about what you offer. A lot of times we feel inspired and even excited to do something, to write something, create something. But there's a part of us that fears how it's going to be received. And we can kind of, with our perfectionist attitude, we can kind of trip ourselves up and avoid doing something that our soul is asking us to do. But if I know what really helps me, especially with the YouTube videos, there's a lot of days I don't feel like shooting a video. I'll look at the outcome and I'll think, man, that was not my best performance. I kind of like said the wrong word there. Sometimes I do say the wrong word that doesn't make sense. Little things like that. But there's a part of me that knows that, you know what, people are going to still benefit from that. I'll get comments that say, thank you, that was what I needed to hear. And because there's something bigger than myself and is helping other people, it really allows me to let go, and even with my inner apprehensions, just do it anyway. So that's kind of my advice too. It's really helped me put myself out there. And putting myself out there is more of an obvious way. For you, it might not be that. It might just be speaking up at work when you notice some injustice is taking place and someone's getting picked on. There's a party that wants to stick up for them and say, hey, jerk off, why don't you go whatever. But you know, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to do this. And realize part of your soul says you need to stick up for that person. So it could be as small as that. It's not about a big thing. But again, if you can consider it, you know what, maybe I get yelled at from the boss. And then I tell him, hey, listen, this is what that guy was doing. And whether the boss agrees with you or not, regardless, you followed the nudges of your soul in that situation. Regardless of the consequence that you might have to deal with, it was going to help this other person. The satisfaction of doing that was going to far outweigh having to go home for a week or whatever. Anyways, my friends, that's my take on the week. Take it for what you will. Regardless, I wish you all the best. I just wish you guys, I just send you guys my good vibes and my love because you're always sending them to me. So thank you very much. I will speak to you guys very soon. Have an amazing day. Namaste.